One of the most common mistakes I'm seeing people do when they post their lettering online is not editing their photo. With every lettering piece that you post on Instagram, you want it to be attention grabbing, and editing photos can help you to do that. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I take photos of my lettering and show you how I just used the Instagram app to take my lettering photos from this to this. At the same time, I'd also love to share some of the tips that you can use to take your lettering post to the next level. Hi, I'm Gadis of Made by Mutiara and welcome to my channel. I've been posting my lettering on Instagram since 2016, and on this channel, I want to make videos to share with you some of the tips that have helped me along the way. And the first tip that I want to be sharing with you today is also a game changer, and it's this board over here. This is the background for all of my lettering pieces, and it costs less than $10 to make. All you need is just a plain foam board and a roll of contact paper that looks like wood. Stick them together and voila, you have a nice background for your lettering. This contact sheet is actually waterproof, so when I'm doing paint splatters and it gets all over this, it's actually really easy to clean up. So yeah, all of these things will be linked down in the description below. And the reason why I like to use this board over here is that what I would do is to sometimes use sticky tape to paste my lettering on this board and carry it around to check all the different angles that I can take of my lettering. Maybe if I'm using a color shift type of post that day, then I would try from this angle and then turn the board and try from this angle. Which brings me to the next tip. Always take multiple photos of your lettering. Whether you're taking multiple angles, you want to focus on certain parts of the lettering piece, you should definitely take photos of that. The main reason being is that based on my experience, uploading carousels on Instagram where you have multiple photos for one post tends to do better in terms of showing up on your followers' Instagram feed. There are chances where people may see like the second photo instead of the first photo. So yeah, taking multiple photos is a definite must, and you know, you have options. And when you are taking photos, always try to maximize the Instagram dimensions. For me, I prefer to post using the 1:1 ratio, but there are exceptions where I would choose the 4:3 ratio. Landscape mode is something that I don't post anymore, and I would definitely avoid uploading in landscape. Again, you want to be attention grabbing. So if your post can either be 1:1 or bigger, which is the 4:3 dimension, it would definitely have a higher chance of stopping someone's attention. And don't worry, all of this dimensions part is something that you can adjust inside the app itself, and I'm gonna show you how right now. So before we edit, I'm just gonna show you how basic my layout is when it comes to taking the photos of my lettering. I normally just have the background and then the paints that I use over here, as well as the engraved acrylic watermark. So what I want to do is that I'll try to make the horizontal lines on the background align with the horizontal grid in my phone itself. So don't mind the sounds from my neighbors. And then I'll take one a bit zoomed out just in case that was too close. And of course, if I can't get it to be as horizontal, I will usually do the editing inside the Instagram app itself, where you can change the perspective. And of course, I'll try to take multiple angles. So maybe I'll just take one at the side here where it's just focused on the lettering. 1, 2, 3, hold your breath. And then I'll take one from another angle where I maybe just want to focus on the flower. So remember, take multiple photos. Try to have your lettering as the focus of the entire picture. If possible, try to make sure that the lighting is good as well. Okay, so now I'm on the app. I'm just gonna show you what I do here. Usually, if I have a portrait piece, I will prefer to use the 4:3 ratio, and you can do that by pressing the 2 frame at the corner, left bottom corner here. So it gives you the dimensions 4:3, which is perfect if you have more of a portrait piece to to post on Instagram. But of course, this one, there's too much additional space at the top and bottom, so I'm not going to do that. And you can either press the multiple button here, or you can do a long press on the photo to select multiple photos. I'm going to choose the one where I did the side angle. So when you are editing, I usually use the white frame inside the Instagram app to have it as a reference to how bright I want my picture to be, to how white I want the paper to be as well. Of course, it's going to be difficult if you have your phone settings into the dark mode, but that's just something that I do. And then I'm not going to use any of the filters. I'm going to edit and I'll adjust the placement again because I had to reset it. And then this is the time where if I realize that the horizontal lines are not horizontal to the frame, then I'll usually like pivot it like slight bit only. And then I'll see if this makes any difference. And then the order of which I do my edit is as follows. I do the brightness first, followed by contrast, and then I do highlights and shadows at the same time, and then I add sharpness, and last but not least, I add in the saturation and warmth if needed. So let's do that, alright? So brightness, I'm going to go up to 35 and then see how I feel at the end there, okay? And contrast, I'm also going to go up to the same extent, 35. Highlights, 35. Is that too much? Okay, that's a bit too much. Okay, maybe 20. Shadows, I'll usually go in the opposite direction. So if I go up to brighten, it becomes too washed out. So I want a bit of a contrast there. So I'll try to balance it out, maybe to 40. So once you are done with any of the edits, you can long press on the picture and then see what it looks like before and after. And it looks like night and day. So I really like how brightened up it is. And one thing that I really want to emphasize is the texture of the paint and the paper. So I'll increase the sharpness to maybe 12. It might not seem any different, but I do see a difference for some of my pieces, and I'm quite used to adding that into my editing. And then when it comes to saturation, as you can see, if you become too saturated, it becomes not too nice and the background becomes too yellow. So I'm not gonna add too much, maybe just a bit, like a 10. Warmth, depending on the colors that I use, I think I'm going to reduce the warmth by a bit. There you go, before and after. So that's how I usually do my editing for all of my photos. And to make the process faster, whatever numbers I edit the first photo to, I'm gonna apply the same thing to the rest of the photos. So at this part, I'm just gonna fast forward, but you can pause and see that I will try to adjust numbers to the same extent as the previous photo. And once I'm done, I'm gonna look back and forth and compare whether or not I feel like they look like the same photo. So based on what I'm seeing here, this one doesn't seem as bright, so I might want to increase the highlights by a bit. And then I'll go back and then compare. And once I'm happy, I just go on to the third photo and edit the same. Alright, so at the end, I'm happy with all of the photos, and that's it. I usually take 5 to 10 minutes when it comes to the editing and the photo taking part, but of course, it will vary depending on the lighting situation that I have. And that's how I edit my photos. I hope this video gave you some idea of where you can start to level up your lettering photos. I know that my lighting situation might vary from your lighting situation, so it's important to put in the practice of how and how much to edit in order to make your photos look good. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Do you use Instagram to edit your photos, or do you use a different photo editing app? I sometimes use Snapseed to edit my lettering photos, but not all the time. So let me know if you want me to show you how I do it over on that app. And if you want to learn how to edit and take lettering videos instead, you can check out my 2 videos over here, and I'll include the links to them down in the description below. And the shout out of this video goes to Roshita! Thank you so much for leaving a comment in my last video where I shared about how I grew on Instagram in the year 2020. And if you're interested to see my journey how, then you can check out that video over here. If you found this video useful, then give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so that you can be notified when I upload a new video. Wait, press the bell first for that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye!